What if the birth of a god began with a mother's simple need for protection? In the ancient mountains where the gods dwelled, the goddess Parvati desired a guardian, someone loyal, someone she could trust. As she prepared for her sacred bath, she carefully molded a small figure from clay, shaping him with love and purpose. This figure was no ordinary creation. With a breath of life, Parvati named him Ganesha and entrusted him with a crucial task: to guard her chambers and let no one pass. Little did Ganesha know that his loyalty would soon lead him into the heart of a divine conflict. As Ganesha stood at the entrance, faithful to his mother's command, he was unaware that the wheels of fate were already in motion. Parvati's act of creation was pure and simple, yet it set the stage for a monumental event. The innocence of her intent masked the storm that was about to unfold. Ganesha, her protector, was more than just a being of clay. He was her shield, her sentinel. But in the realm of gods, even the best of intentions can lead to unexpected outcomes. What Parvati didn't foresee was that this small act of creation would not only alter Ganesha's destiny, but it would also transform him in ways no one could have imagined. The drama was just beginning, and soon the life of this young guardian would change forever. As Ganesha stood guard outside the chambers, his task was clear. No one was to enter. The calm of the moment felt secure, but that peace was soon broken by the arrival of Lord Shiva, Parvati's husband. Unaware of Ganesha's origins, Shiva demanded entry to see his wife. Yet Ganesha, ever loyal to his mother's orders, refused to let the god pass. What began as a simple command escalated quickly into a standoff. The tension between the young guardian and the mighty god grew with each moment. How could a small boy dare to stand in the way of Lord Shiva, the destroyer, the god of divine wrath? But Ganesha, in his innocence and unwavering devotion to his mother, held his ground, blind to the growing danger. Shiva, known for his fiery temper, was not used to being defied, least of all by a child. His patience thinned as the defiance stretched on, and the weight of the situation hung heavy in the air. Both stood firm, the silence thick with unspoken threats, and it became clear that this confrontation would not end quietly. What was meant to be a simple act of protection was about to become a tragic misunderstanding, one that would echo across the heavens and change the fate of Ganesha forever. Shiva's patience frayed as Ganesha refused to yield, and frustration quickly turned to fury. To Shiva, this boy was a mere obstacle, standing in his way, defying his will. With a swift, decisive motion, Shiva drew his weapon, his temper igniting like a flame. Ganesha, unflinching, remained steadfast, following Parvati's command without hesitation. The boy's loyalty was unmatched, his resolve unshakable, but even his courage could not withstand the wrath of a god. The tension in the air crackled as Shiva's divine strength met Ganesha's unwavering duty. Then, in a single, powerful strike, Shiva's fury fell upon the boy. The world seemed to pause as Ganesha's head tumbled to the ground. Silence gripped the moment, heavy and unbearable. The weight of what had just happened hung in the air, but the enormity of it hadn't yet sunk in. Shiva stood over the lifeless body, his anger dissipating into the void, slowly replaced by a creeping awareness of his actions. What had seemed like a simple clash of wills had now turned into something far more tragic. Shiva, still caught in the remnants of his rage, had yet to realize the true consequence of his strike. Soon, grief and rage would fill the space where silence lingered, and the heavens themselves would tremble at the storm that was about to unfold. Parvati's loss was not just the death of her creation, it was the spark of something far greater. When Parvati stepped out of her chambers and saw the devastating scene before her, time seemed to stop. There, on the ground, lay her beloved son, lifeless. Her creation, crafted with such care and love, was gone in an instant. Grief overtook her, but it was soon replaced by a fury so intense that even the heavens trembled. The goddess's sorrow turned into raw power as she unleashed her rage, vowing to unravel the very fabric of the universe if her son was not returned to her. The gods, witnessing her wrath, knew that no force in existence could stand against a mother's love, especially when that love had been shattered. Shiva, now fully understanding the gravity of his actions, was struck with regret. The realization that he had unknowingly killed his own son weighed heavily on him. Parvati's cries echoed across the realms, demanding justice, and the gods felt the weight of her pain. Shiva knew there was only one way to make things right. But how could he bring back what had already been taken? The balance of the universe teetered on the edge, and restoring it would require more than just words. It would demand a divine act, one that could heal not just Parvati's heart, but the broken harmony of creation itself. To ease Parvati's unbearable grief and restore balance to the cosmos, Shiva knew he had to act quickly. Ganesha's body lay still, but without his original head, bringing him back to life seemed impossible. Desperate to right the wrong and calm the fury of Parvati, Shiva sent his followers on an urgent mission. They were to find the first living creature that crossed their path. The pressure was immense. Time was slipping away, and with it, the fragile balance of the universe. After a tense wait, the followers returned, carrying the head of an elephant, a creature known for its wisdom and strength. Shiva, with great care and determination, placed the elephant's head on Ganesha's lifeless form. The gods, Parvati, and even the universe itself seemed to hold their breath, awaiting the outcome of this extraordinary act. For a moment, all was still. Then, with a gasp, the boy stirred. Ganesha was alive once more, but he was no longer the same. The child Parvati had crafted from clay had transformed into the elephant-headed god, marked for greatness and destined to be one of the most revered deities in all of Hindu mythology. His rebirth was more than a return to life. It was the birth of a legend. The instant Ganesha opened his eyes, the universe itself seemed to shift. No longer was he merely the boy shaped from clay. He had now crossed the threshold between life and death, returning transformed. His new form, with the mighty head of an elephant and the body of a boy, became a powerful symbol, representing both strength and innocence, wisdom and devotion. Parvati's sorrow melted into joy as she beheld her son reborn, and the gods gazed in awe at the being before them. This was not simply Ganesha restored, it was Ganesha reimagined, imbued with divine purpose and destined for greatness. From that moment on, Ganesha was no longer just a creation. He had become a figure of reverence, the remover of obstacles, and the guardian of new beginnings. His transformation was more than just a change of form. It was the birth of a legacy that would transcend time. Ganesha would forever be remembered, not just for his trials, but for his triumph. His journey, marked by challenges and redemption, would inspire worshippers for generations to come. In his new form, he carried the promise of wisdom, resilience, and the unwavering love that brought him back to life, his story echoing across the ages. With his new form, Ganesha stepped into the divine realm, not as a child of clay, but as a god reborn. His elephant head, once a tragic symbol of loss, became a mark of wisdom and power. No longer seen as just Parvati's creation, he now commanded the respect of all the gods. Ganesha became the guardian of thresholds, the protector of new beginnings, and the remover of obstacles. His transformation was not simply physical. It marked his rise to one of the most revered figures in Hindu mythology. The gods no longer viewed him with sorrow, but with reverence. Ganesha had endured trials that tested his loyalty and spirit, yet he emerged stronger, more formidable. His story of survival and transformation resonated deeply, not just with the gods, but with all who sought his blessing. Mortals would come to invoke his name at the start of every journey, praying for his guidance and protection. His journey from clay to divinity was complete, but his legacy was only beginning. Ganesha's role would grow, his influence reaching across the heavens and earth. Beloved by all who knew his story, his tale became one of triumph, a reminder that even in the face of great challenges, transformation can bring forth a powerful new beginning. And so, Ganesha's story, like the god himself, would endure for all time. Ganesha's journey began not as a god, but as a creation born from love. Crafted by Parvati's own hands from clay, he was a protector, loyal and unwavering in his devotion to his mother. Yet, in a twist of fate, his life was shattered by a tragic misunderstanding. Shiva, unaware of who Ganesha was, struck him down in a moment of fury. But from this act of destruction came one of the most profound transformations in mythic history. When Ganesha was brought back to life with the head of an elephant, he became something far more than the boy he once was. His new form symbolized wisdom, strength, and resilience, a figure touched by both death and rebirth. This transformation marked the beginning of Ganesha's legacy as a god beloved by millions. His story, passed down through generations, became a beacon of hope and renewal, illustrating the power of change and the importance of loyalty. His elephant-headed figure, once the result of loss, became a symbol of divine protection and guidance. No longer just a creation of clay, Ganesha was now a god whose presence offered blessings and the promise of new beginnings. His story continues to be told, a timeless tale of love, transformation, and the enduring bond between a mother and her son.